Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to share how moving to Qatar changed my life. Basically, I'm going to share everything to do with not financially. I hope you didn't click on this video because you think it's financially. Sometimes moving somewhere, it doesn't mean that you will change financially, but you can change in so many ways. And I really want to talk about some of the few things that I feel like after moving to Qatar changed my life, the whole of job, people, the system and everything. I don't permanently live here. I'm just here because I'm chasing my dream. I want to share some of the things that I feel like I have achieved living in this country. In case you're planning to move to Qatar with a job or probably visiting Qatar, I feel like this video will be very helpful in some way. If you're stopping by for the first time, please be sure to subscribe, like, share and comment. We learn a lot of things on this channel. I try to share so many things, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. You guys are the best. We are now at 10,000 subscribers, which I really appreciate, and it keeps me going. So like I said, I didn't move to Qatar permanently. I'm just here because I'm chasing my dreams, and I am Kenyan based in Qatar, in case you didn't know. Fully Kenyan by birth, by citizenship, by everything. What I can say that has changed in my life, especially being in Qatar for the past few years that I've been here, is exposure. No, it won't sound like wow thing because you expected me to say something to do with maybe financial, maybe I've done big things or something like that. No, the reason why I always feel like sometimes it's best for you to move from where you are to another place if you can. If you're not doing well where you are, sometimes it's better to have that thought in your mind, like moving to another country if you have the opportunity. Is moving to other countries can change your life, to be honest. In terms of exposure, you will be exposed to so many things. Like in Qatar, I've been exposed to so many things that if I was in Kenya, I won't know all these things, or I won't be privileged to some of the opportunities that I can find in this country. And that being said, it doesn't mean that in Kenya things are not good. Of course, there are so many opportunities in Kenya. There are so many things I can do in Kenya, but sometimes you always feel like you want to be somewhere, at least experience a different culture. And Qatar is a country that you can find people from all over the world. Like if I was in Kenya, for sure I could not meet some nationalities that I've met in Qatar. Qatar is a place where a lot of people come to work and go back to their country, which has helped me in so many ways. Experience different culture from other, people, to experience how people do things. I've met so many Asian people in Qatar. Basically, if I was in Kenya, I wouldn't meet this amount of people. I've learned so many things from people. I've learned so many things from, working with different people here in Qatar. In Kenya, there are so many opportunities, but if you think about the corruption that is going on there, you won't be exposed to so many opportunities like jobs and things like that. Like you cannot just wake up like this and say that I want to work in that company. I know in Qatar is not the same. You can't just wake up and say that I want to work in that company, but at least your eye can see so many opportunities that you can at least work on. The best thing that you can do for yourself is always be open to to try and relocate to other countries, maybe with a job or maybe traveling. It will expose you to so many things. You will learn so many things, and especially in the Middle East is a place where you can meet people from all over the world, so you can clearly get to understand different culture, meet different people, and that can change your mindset in so many ways. And another thing that I feel like has changed my life moving to Qatar and living here is privilege, shelter, food, and opportunities. In Qatar, you are exposed to so many opportunities that you can just, grab. You don't have to have somebody to get a job, because most of the people who are here for work. So you are privileged to so many things that you really appreciate. Once you look back in your country and you are living in this country, you will really feel privileged, as well as I feel privileged being Kenyan, and because after coming to Qatar, I came to realize people here struggle with the weather, and in Kenya we don't struggle with that. In Kenya we have good weather, we have food. That's something I came to also realize that we are privileged of. In Kenya we have good food, It doesn't mean that in Qatar we don't have good food. But in Kenya, people do farming. In Qatar, it's a little bit hard to do that kind of farming that you will do in Kenya. So it gave me the feeling of understanding that in Africa, most of us are privileged because we are exposed to so many, good food. We're exposed to good weather. We're exposed to, a community. And it's the same thing here. There is a community, but the weather, the weather the weather is something else. Like, the weather is not good because Middle East is a desert, so you should expect the weather to be like this. They barely don't see rain. In a year, I can count with my hands how many times I get to see rain in Qatar. But in Kenya, it rains. Even now, it's raining cats and dogs in Kenya. That's a privilege. I know it's affecting a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are losing their houses, and it's not a good thing. But guys, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that you can see rain. Appreciate that you have a good weather. And as well, I do appreciate being in this country where there are so many opportunities. There is a good system. I'm saying this because I'm coming from Africa, where our system is the worst system. In Kenya, corruption is very high. I said there are so many jobs in Kenya, there are so many jobs opportunity, but the corruption is very high. You need to have somebody to assist you or to hold your hands for you to get a better job. There are so many jobs out there. People do get jobs. It's not the same thing as living in Qatar. In Qatar, your skills will give you a job. If you have the skills that they are looking for and you're looking for a job, I know it can be hard sometime to tarmac and get a job in Qatar, but at least there is hope of you getting a job. You don't have to rely on somebody for you to get a job compared to, living in Kenya. In Kenya, you have to have somebody. For you to get the best job that you're looking for, you have to have somebody. And that has made me feel like it's privileged to be in this country. It has changed my life to an extent. I wish we had the same system in Kenya. Qatar has like the best system with, when it comes to transportation, health, like hospitals, and education as well. Like, there is no corruption. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no corruption here, that if you want to go to hospital, if you're coming from Africa, you know what I mean. You clearly know what I mean. Like, privilege that you get here. If you go to hospital, the system is there. And the health facility is on another level. Like, everything is being programmed. Everything is well taken care of. If you're under a company, there is free health care. If you're under a company, there is free transportation. If you're under a company, things work well for you. And it doesn't mean that you have to be under a company to get a free health care. No, you can still get a free health care. Their health care system here is so good, which is something that I really, really do love. And the other thing that I really appreciate and I feel like has changed my life living in Qatar, we don't pay tax at all. Like, the salary that you get is what you will take back home. There is no tax in this country. And I feel like that's a good thing because good hospital, good transportation. At the end of the day, you get your salary, no tax. The salary is no tax. How good is that? So that has really, really changed me personally. I feel like if I go back to my country now, I don't know how I'm going to survive, especially after getting into this system, like the Qatar system. It makes things easier for you. You don't have to hustle for so many things. Like, things are very easy. They've made things easier for you because, once things are easier for them and they are easier for me, everything will be okay. But since I come from a country where they try to make things very hard for you when they can just be just 1, 2, 3 and it's done. No, it doesn't work that way. In Qatar, don't expect to see corruption. If you go to hospital, you will have to follow the system. You don't have to pay somebody to get to see the doctor immediately. No, they just follow their system, and that's how it makes things easier for them. Something else that has changed after moving to Qatar is education. I've upgraded my education in so many ways. Like, at least here it's easier for me to be able to do the courses that I wanted to do. I know I could do the same courses back in Kenya, but Here it's quite easier for me to do them because of the system, the way things are. I've upgraded my education. I have something better now that I can go back home and say that at least I've gained these things. So I really do appreciate, and that brings me to the exposure. If I was not exposed to this environment here and the system here, I wouldn't be here. Qatar is somewhere that if you live in this country, even if you came to work here as a waitress, you just have this thing that will keep pushing you. You need to upgrade your career. You need to upgrade a career, and that's something that I really love, because you are surrounded with people from all over the world, so you get to understand different people ideas, you get to understand other people, system. I've met people who are from the US, I've met people who are from the Europe, and they tell me they do appreciate the system in Qatar, because in Europe also people do pay tax a lot. And when you come to Qatar, we don't pay tax. People do pay tax in the US, and I hear it's on another level. In as much I think that living in Qatar is quite expensive, of course, but when you have a good system, when everything is very smooth for you, you not even think of how expensive this country is, because you feel like, okay, if I want to do this, it's easier for me. I don't have to pay tax. Things are very easy for you. So I really came to understand that exposure is very important. If you can move from your country where you are to a different country, that's when you come to understand how privileged you are, maybe being in your country. Because even me, I can feel I am privileged being Kenyan and living in Kenya, having a good weather and all that. But also moving here, I totally understand that there are so many things that needs to be changed in my country, with transportation, with healthcare system, with education, opportunities. So many things need to be changed. Corruption, fasting, corruption has to just go away. And living in Qatar makes me appreciate all these things. So the last thing that has really changed my life after moving in Qatar, and believe me, when I went back to Kenya, I struggled so many times with this. In Qatar, it's very safe. It's very safe. And when I go back to my country, I always assume that I'm in Qatar, and I will just leave my phone on the table and say, it's fine, no one will take it from me. See what Qatar has exposed in my life. I feel like I am safe in this country in a way that if I go to other countries, I feel like it's the same thing, but it's not. Qatar has changed me in a way that you don't have anything to worry about. I've said this in so many videos. In Qatar, you can walk in the middle of the night. No one will do anything to you. No one will shoot you. No one will kidnap you. No one will do anything to you. In Qatar, as a woman, there is that respect. In Qatar, you can leave your phone here and just go and come back and find the phone there, because there are so many cameras everywhere. Even without the cameras, the country itself, it's very safe, and which is something that has changed my life after living in this country. I do really appreciate having or being in a country that is very safe, which I really wish that Kenya could be the same way, but I know I can't change that. But living in Qatar has changed that, has made me appreciate being somewhere that is safe, has made me appreciate so many things, guys, so many things. And there are so many things I've not mentioned for sure, but living in this country has changed a lot. Of course, financially as well. I know I didn't want to mention that, but Qatar will expose you to so many opportunities which will change you financially, which is something that all of us want. So I appreciate living in Qatar. I appreciate everything about Qatar. Like, Qatar has changed so many things in my life, and which up to now I'm still learning. I know there's so many things to see, but living in this country, I can clearly say, has changed my life to, let's say, 80%, because East or West home is the best, but I can say 80%. If I ask myself now, if I was in Kenya, would I be on the same position that I am now? No. To be honest, no. Probably, maybe yes, maybe I will be somewhere even better. I can say no because of one thing: the corruption. The corruption, the system in my country. Kenya has everything. Do you know, in my country, we have good food. We have, of course, healthcare is there, of course, transportation is there, but our our system is in Kenya. Life is affordable. If I try to compare here, imagine living in a country where it's affordable, there is good food, like healthy food, because people do farming in Kenya. There is good weather, there is, you know, all these good things. The only thing is the system that brings us down. If that can change in Kenya, then Kenya is a very beautiful country. But if that will not change, then I don't know where we will be. And that's why I'm trying to appreciate living in Qatar and what Qatar has really changed my life. Probably if I was still in Kenya now, maybe I could be in a better place more than here, maybe not, I don't know, only God knows. But on today's video, I wanted to just share some of the few things that really changed in my life after moving to Qatar. I hope this video has been very helpful. In case you're planning to relocate to any country, it doesn't have to be Qatar, any country of your choice. Please, if there is something that is telling you to go to that country, please go. Sometimes you can even be doing well where you are. You can be doing well in your country, but the exposure, moving to another country will expose you to so many things. Because, you know, if you're in your country, you only know your system in your country. That's the only thing you know. You don't know anything else. So for you to appreciate your country, you need to go outside at least and see how other people live, and appreciate being, you know, being from your country, or appreciate being in that country. So if you want to move from your country for exposure only, please do. It will change your life in so many ways. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye.